But these 19 athletes are focused in for the next heat of the Thames Challenge Cup. Club Open 8s with a Cox, of course, and they sit ready to go. Breathing, just tapping to make sure they are set straight to get the best line down past the island. Cox's hands still up on the far side, both up, so maybe there's a little bit of wind, although it's been pretty quick times today, hasn't it?
But look how cool the bowman is there in the Dart Totnes boat, you know, still tapping away. The starter could start at any second, but they are just ready to go.
Attention.
Adjusting. And we are off in this heat of the Thames Challenge Cup with Tyne Amateur Rowing Club on your left versus Dart Totnes Amateur Rowing Club on your right. And it is a fierce match-up from two crews, who've travelled a long way to get here, not internationally, but they've travelled a fair few miles, and they want to go one more day.
Yeah, it's about as far apart as you can get in England, having these two clubs. This is a perfect sort of Thames Cup regional rowing club race.
Yeah, brilliant. And we get an insight there into Dart Totnes, who had an incredible race yesterday, beating Vesta B by 2/3 of the length. I watched that. It was a real humdinger all the way down. And yeah, they train on the beautiful River Dart, a very picturesque 15-kilometre stretch of river. But here they are on a fierce Henley stretch where they're in a 2-horse race, and they are facing Tyne, who've gone out hard.
And that's a fantastic start by Tyne. And the beauty of being able to watch these races back on YouTube, I'm sure the Tyne rowers would have had a look at the Dart Totnes race, the Dart Totnes rowers would have had a look at the Tyne race, and they'd have thought, right, what do we need to do especially? And definitely you can see here Tyne have made a point. We want to lead this race.
That's right. So we've got Tyne A.R.C in the bow of the Tyne crew, Harry Clark at 2, Rowan O'Neill at 3, Ethan Stone at 4, Alexander Duguid at 5, Harry Oliver at 6, Andrew Tudor at 7, Stroke Daniel Jones, coxed by Alice Lancon Tarchikova, and on the Dart Totnes side, who we're just seeing there, I've just given you names. Let's stay a moment with Tyne, who we've just been talking about, who are relaxing now into their rhythm, getting the run of the boat. Both crews looked a little tense out of the start, and now it's a question of getting into the rhythm, isn't it?
It is. Like the first sort of minute of the race can feel very, very frantic. You can't do that for 6 or 7 minutes. You can do it for a minute or two. So what the athletes, you see them just start to have to reduce that stroke length and also reduce the stroke rate, increase the stroke length, and start to come into a sustainable rhythm, which you see they've really come onto here. But what I quite like in that Tyne boat now is you can just see how quickly those blades going into the water, a nice splash. And that normally means that they are not missing any part of the stroke. It's very efficient.
And that's what we're always aiming for, right? You never take a perfect catch, you never have a perfect entry, and you're every stroke just trying to be a little bit more accurate.
And I love these sort of reverse views as well, because there's a very special thing, and if you're sitting in the bow of the boat, like you know, you can see here, you can see Tyne A.R.C in the Tyne boat. The boat lifts up and drops a little bit. You can see that, the bow wall coming up and out of the water and back in. You have to be so technical there, but if you're up, you're in the bow seat, you feel on top of the world.
You do, that's right. It's one of the best places to be, isn't it? And, you know, again, when you're getting those shots, they're so useful afterwards, aren't they, technically? Because normally when you train, it's really hard to get a shot of what the boat looks like from behind, unless your coach is washing you down, videoing you, which, of course, no one wants to do. Now, we see there Dart Totnes come into view. Matthew Daniels at bow, Yuri Alasia at 2, Hugo Dossett at 3, Ethan Frost at 4, Isaac Jones at 5, Cameron Bailey at 6, Francis Phillips at 7, Alexander Bartle at stroke, coxed by Trudy McComb. They're all here, so most have raced once before, Bowman's raced 3 times before, versus a lot more experience in the Tyne Amateur Rowing Club, where Bowman's been here 6 times before, Harry Oliver at 6 seat has been here 8 times before, and they're using that experience, aren't they? Because every time you race at Henley, you get these different scenarios that play out, and different experiences you take then into the next one.
You absolutely do. There's definitely some muscle memory you get from rowing down this course, and you know it's a strange course where every body of water is different, but the more you do it, you really do know exactly where you are in the race, and it helps to be able to say, right, I know that for the next 15 strokes I will get from Forley to the bit where it kind of opens up and you've got all of the tents on the right, and those sorts of things that help you know where to put the pushes in.
They had a strong race yesterday. They beat Twickenham Rowing Club by 1 3/4 lengths. progressively taking the lead, just extending it all the time, and they've done the same thing today. So they'll be gaining confidence with each round. Coached by Alex Lee, they'll be building the race plan from one race to the next. And at this point, when you're up, you're still really concentrating, aren't you? You've still got the Cox will be really keeping them focused. What sort of things will the Cox be getting the Tyne crew to think about?
Well, I think that for the Tyne crew, they'll be, at this point, when you're rowing, you never feel like you're as far ahead as you really are. And I think the Cox will always be thinking, what if something went wrong and they caught us up for now? So they're still thinking, can we get another length of clear water? But if I were in that boat, I'd be thinking, right, how do we use the next sort of 500 metres of this race to put ourselves in the best shape to try and win tomorrow? How can we still be improving? Yeah,
and Cox, Trudy McComb in the Dart Totnes crew, what's her job? What's she got to do at this point?
Now, you've got to keep those crew motivated, because it is not over till it's over. We've seen it loads of times here at Henley. Crews that you think are going to win a race, and it doesn't go to plan. Maybe they have gone out too hard. Maybe there's a mishap in the boat. You've got to keep your crew going every single stroke.
They are coached by William Hawkyard, who started coaching in 2003 at Dart Totnes and stayed at the club since then. So a real stalwart, building a programme, you know, always that aim of Henley in the back of your mind each year, and, you know, brilliant results along the way, and really thinking about how do we have these crews so they're all working full-time, right, at the same time as this, you know, working out then how do we compete with crews that the standard goes up every year in the Thames Challenge Cup.
And I think that's what we see. We have seen it, like, professionalism just go through the roof in these events. And I think some of this coverage has probably encouraged more people to want to race here. But you kind of think, these people, they've made a big decision to prioritise rowing in their life, right? They have said, right, maybe I'm not going for that promotion this year. You know what, maybe we're not getting married quite yet. Let's, you know, I really want to do this thing. And your friends, your family have to accept it. But a lot of people have decided, you know, this is my priority. So it's amazing when you win and heartbreaking when you don't. Yeah,
an incredible commitment across both of these crews who have, fought and trained so hard through the winter. But we see coming along the enclosures there a really strong Tyne Amateur Rowing Club 8 who are growing in confidence as they come to the end of the course on their second day at Henley. And, you know, now conserving energy, thinking about how they organise themselves for day 3. We see Tyne Amateur Rowing Club cross the line first as Dart Totnes fight with every stroke up to the line. Their Henley is over for this year.
Their Henley is over, but they really did fight every stroke, and I love to see them. You saw the stroke rate go through the roof in that last bit. There was no giving up.
Absolutely, yeah, they gave their all. Tyne Amateur Rowing Club, though, beat Dart Totnes in this Club Open 8 event, the Thames Challenge Cup.